Welcome back to another MOTOBOB video, and today Indian announced this awesome looking special edition of their flat tracker for the street, the FTR. So in this video we'll go over all of the details and I'll tell you 14 things that you need to know about it. First up, the reason for building this bike is to celebrate 5 consecutive victories with their FTR 750 race bike in the American Flat Track Championships. That's every year since that race bike was introduced, and it's become such an iconic design that it was the inspiration for the street version. Firstly with the prototype, and then the production version that was introduced in 2019, upon which this limited edition is based. Now this bike gets the same fundamentals as the rest of the FTR lineup, so it's powered by their 1203cc liquid-cooled 60-degree V-twin that makes a healthy 123 horsepower up at 8,250 RPM and 120 Nm of peak torque at 6,000 RPM. Now it's definitely a lively beast and it makes for a heck of a ride, but it's also got some nice modernities like the assist and slipper clutch, which gives it a nice light feel at the lever. It's got refined fueling since the 2021 model year, and it's also got rear cylinder deactivation so that you don't toast your nuts if you're stopped at a traffic light for too long. Wrapped around it, you've got the same beautiful steel trellis frame and swing arm with a fuel tank that sits under the seat. Not only does it help keep the weight low, but also the shape of what would be the fuel tank, actually it's some airbox covers, but they help it to keep that flat tracker look of the race bike. Now as for the wheels, it's a bit of a reversal because this special edition goes back to the more flat track biased wheel sizes of a 19-inch diameter front and an 18 at the rear. This is what they gave it in the first generation to give it more of that race bike tracker look and the handling characteristics, but for 2021 they switched it to more conventional road focused 17-inch rims to broaden the bike's appeal. It also gives you a much wider choice of tyres for the road and much sportier tyres too. But this championship edition is an ode to their championship winning race bikes, and as such they've reverted to the first generation wheel sizes, and personally I quite like it. As such they've switched the tyres back too, so gone are the Metzeler Sport-X in favour of the original Dunlop DT3Rs, which I think I'm right in saying were developed specifically for this bike. They've got that sort of semi-knobbly flat track tread pattern, but with a compound that's more appropriate for the road. Having ridden them on the first gen bike, look, it does like to slip and slide a little, but I quite like that about it. It helped to give the bike its flat trackiness, which helped it to stand out from other generic naked bikes. Suspension comes in the form of a fully adjustable fork and shock from Sachs, so the same as you'd find on the standard FTR and the S model, but on this championship edition, again it reverts to the more tracker focused first gen setup with a little more travel, so 150mm front and rear as opposed to the 120mm of the more recent bikes. As such, the seat height gets a bit of a bump too. They really brought it down low on the more recent versions at 780mm, but this one sits a little taller at 815mm. Brakes are from Brembo with the same 4-pot radially mounted calipers at the front on 320mm discs and a radial Brembo master cylinder and steel braided hoses, so a proper solid braking setup, and then a 2-pot Brembo on a 260mm disc at the rear. This one gets all the lean sensitive rider aids that you'll find on the S model, powered by an inertial measurement unit, and so there's 3 riding modes of rain, standard and sport, all of which give you varying levels of cornering ABS, stability control, traction control, wheelie control, rear wheel lift control, and then you also get cruise control, and it's all managed through a 4.3-inch color TFT. A nice feature is that it's a touchscreen when you're stationary, and it also offers Bluetooth connectivity so that you can control calls, messaging and media playback through the TFT dash or the switchgear. Now again, like the FTRS, you also get their titanium Akropovich exhaust. I've got this particular can fitted to a press bike at the moment, the FTR Rally, and it's not super loud, but it just adds a nice little extra depth to the exhaust note, and the matte titanium finish looks significantly more premium than the black pipes on the standard models. Specific to this limited edition though, we've got this dedicated paintwork inspired by the race bike upon which it's based. So there's red on the frame, the swing arm and the wheels, and then the paintwork on the seat cowl and the airbox covers, which has a little pop of yellow, as well as the gold anodized forks. As for the bodywork, well, it's the same stuff that you'll find on their range topping FTR FTR carbon, so the seat cowl, front mudguard, airbox covers, and the headlight nacelle are all in carbon for that extra special finish. On the top of the airbox cover as well there, you've got a commemorative bezel, and it lists out each of the championship winning seasons for all to see. Now they're limiting this one to 400 bikes worldwide, so obviously only a few of those will make it to Europe, and of those only a few will make it to the UK, so it really is a limited run, and if you want one you better get your skates on. The price is £15,995, so a little more than the S model of course, with that limited edition paint and the carbon bodywork, but then it's just another £100 or so up to the FTR carbon. That bike does get full Olin suspension and the 17-inch wheels, so it's likely the better road bike, but if you're into your flat tracking and you like that they've gone back to those tracker wheels and tires, plus the limited edition nature of this bike, then it would of course be a very nice thing to own. As always, I'd love to know what you think of it down in the comments below, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one.